What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the After Show. That's right. I've got my buddy Jeff over here. We are going to be talking about The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 4, or what they called Chapter 20, The Foundling. The Foundling. Before I get into anything, guys, there will be spoilers.
Huge.
And
Big.
huge, big spoiler. We finally find something out that we've been wondering since the beginning of the show. So guys, if you have not seen this show, I'm the typical guy that says I don't care about the spoilers. This is one that you should care about. Go watch the episode, then come back and watch this. Before we do get into the spoiler, though, how about your initial thoughts? What did you think of the episode as a whole?
What a recovery from last week's dreadfulness. Yeah, this is what we're paying the tickets and the money for. It was perfect. It was perfect.
I mean, I don't know about perfect. I mean, to me,
goddamn close.
It was a good episode. It had some action. It had, a lot of Mando. It had a lot of Grogu. It had all the things that you want to see in The Mandalorian. I did have a bit of an issue with that whole today's story, like the plot of the week, because let's be honest, that whole plot was just a device to get Grogu alone with the armorer and to get to the flashback scene. That's how it felt to me, right? That whole thing was kind of, it wasn't pointless because obviously this is development for Bo, right? This is the Bo-Katan development that we're seeing now. But it did feel to me like, okay, you just threw all that in just so that we could get Grogu alone with the friggin' armorer, right?
Initially, I agreed with you when the scene sort of first, like the child is kidnapped and they have to go rescue and such. Initially, I thought, wow, yeah, this is exactly what we talked about. This is the video game side quest, as opposed to the main quest. But Katan sits there with the armor and says, "Yeah, I saw the damn mythosaur." Like she's kind of
she
like
tells the armor,
it's not her secret anymore, right? Like,
so
I'm telling you what this is. So it felt like she, like, especially the scene, like when they're going to eat, she's like, "How do I eat?" in front of the other one. He's like, "You don't. You find a spot by yourself and you take your helmet off." And then Paz, of everyone, it's Vizsla that says to her, "You're the war commander. You don't have to leave the fire. You can stay right here." It definitely felt like that whole mission was there to help us see Bo bonding with the covert and adopting the way more so than she had probably anticipated. I don't know if this is going to be one of those, we're going to make you think that she's buying into everything and then whoop, they're just going to, like, you know what I mean, swerve us at the end so we're all like, ah, or if it literally looks like she's now walking the way. And
it's very possible, and it would not be out of character.
Right. See, you know the character better than I do because I didn't really watch a whole lot of the animated stuff, but it does feel like they might be kind of getting ready to swerve us, or they might be getting ready to give us a Bo-Katan, like we talked about. This has to go one way or the other, right?
Well, I think that there's only two ways this can go for Bo. Either the egotistical, crybaby, basically,
right,
is going to take over, and she's going to try to fuck over Din, and will do everything that she can to reclaim the throne.
Right. Because there's an interesting scene early on where she's walking the beach as they're all training, and she's just kind of looking around like,
oh my God, like these are actual Mandos.
Like these aren't like just us sitting in a bar bemoaning the fact that we don't have the Darksaber or Mandalore anymore. These are warriors. These guys are living it, fighting. Yeah, eating, breathing, living, fighting all the time.
Yeah,
well, of course, this could be.
This is the way, right?
If I had, if I could mold. So that initially, but then but like I said, by the end, so I think they're kind of maybe prepping us for a swerve, and that's why you have this, because she rescues a kid, and it's Paz Vizsla's kid too that she rescues in her ship with her mission that she leads.
And that's why I think it might not be
like a swerve.
No. I know I've been saying this since the beginning.
Our wrestling parlance, Filch, it'd be a heel turn. I'm waiting for the heel turn right now.
Yeah, I don't know that we're gonna get that. I think this might just be her redemption arc. My whole thought on this is on the fact that they want to make her the leader of Mandalore again. And if the plan is to make her the leader of Mandalore again, she needs to go through that redemption, and nobody's gonna Like, she's an asshole. Let's be honest. Like, in the world of Star Wars, Bo-Katan is not a good person.
No,
She's like, egotistical. Like, she'll stab anybody in the back to get what she wants. Like, she's very much like Andor. Unfortunately, she's like very much a Cassian Andor style character.
Right. So as far as her redemption arc goes, would this be a satisfying redemption arc for her, for you, someone that knows the character and has seen a lot more of her than someone like myself that's more of like a casual?
She needs to actually prove herself. I think that's the key, is she needs to actually really prove herself as the leader of the Mandalorian.
Right.
Not to them, to us. Like,
I think it's pretty telling that we still haven't, other than her wielding it, we really haven't seen a whole lot or even spoken a whole lot about the Darksaber this entire season so far.
We've only seen it the one episode, right?
Where she wielded it with ease, by the way, with way easier than Din wields it. Like, she had no problem having it.
Okay, so let's go through the plot quick. The whole plot of this show, the kid gets kidnapped by this flying dinosaur thing.
They call it a raptor.
Right? They call it a raptor
in the episode. Yes, I thought it was a crate dragon at first. I was like, "Oh, that's cool. It's a big."
No, but crate dragons don't fly.
No, clearly, obviously, yeah. No, it's a raptor, is what they called it.
It was a raptor. So he takes the kid, and Paz is like, "Oh no, don't shoot him! You'll kill the kid." So they let it go, and they follow it, and then they run out. And it's funny because as I'm thinking,
I know.
Wait. These guys just have fuel forever in these things? And then they run out of fuel. And I was like, oh, God.
As soon as they were all running out of fuel, I'm like, have we ever seen anything like, because again, I haven't watched the animated stuff. Has a Mandalorian jetpack ever run out of fuel?
I don't know.
I mean, it makes sense, but Star Wars is almost never that technical. Like, I've never even heard of them talking about fuel for ships before.
No.
Like, they don't even really describe what the ships run on fuel wise, because again, it's not Star Trek, it's Star Wars, so they don't get super technical. So as they're all running out of fuel, it's like, whoa, that's convenient that they're all suddenly they need fuel for the jetpack.
Yeah, I feel like they don't usually fly them for that long, right? Like, they're in the air flying like they're fighter jets, right? That's not what the jetpacks are for. You know what I mean?
Can we talk about how fucking cool that scene looked, though?
Oh, it was dope as shit.
Are you kidding me? Like, and the way they shot that. Oh yeah. My God. As I was watching, I was like,
and when Din was fighting the thing in midair, and then he stabs it in the eye, and like.
But just the four of them flying in formation like that, the way they were shot, and they cut in for the close, and they go back to the wide shot, then the big, huge sweep, and I was like, God damn.
Yeah, no, that was like Top Gun style.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was brilliant.
Yeah. And I really like that they're including some of this aerial stuff in this. This, I feel, is what's been missing a lot in the last few Star Wars, is the proper battles, the dogfights.
If we're going to be on a planet, let's make it as cool as we possibly can. And they have, from the TIE Interceptor battle last episode, and then
I really like that.
No, it was great. That was
awesome. I love it.
That was perfect.
So anyway, so they go off trying to find the kid, right? They need to. Bo followed it in her ship, and she knows where the nest is. So okay, well, let's go get the kid, right? Grogu, you gotta stay behind. You're too little.
Right.
He's gone everywhere with Din, but now he's too little, right? So okay, so he stays behind, and then the armorer basically tells him, if you're gonna be a Mando, there's a lot you need to learn. And she brings him to the forgery, and then she starts forging him his first piece of Mando armor. Funny that you were saying, can you imagine what he'll look like with a helmet on?
Yeah,
they're clearly going towards that.
Can't.
She's now built him his first piece of armor.
What?
Right?
He's all ears. How are they going to put a helmet on him?
Listen, they've already said it. He's too young to speak the creed, so he can't wear the helmet. But by the end of the show, he's going to have a Mandalorian helmet, which is actually probably how this show is going to end, is him getting his helmet. But I'm way ahead of myself here.
Bashes the rondo for him, puts the Mudhorn on it, right?
Oh, the Mudhorn, yeah.
The Mudhorn got to have the clan of two, right?
Yeah.
Although, again, I guess it's, but yeah, the flashback. Okay, so we got to talk about the flashback. So this is yet again another visualization of Order 66. So this is something that we
by the way, was fantastic.
We keep seeing now. Oh, like the Order 66 thing has become such a hugely impactful thing within the Star Wars universe. We see it in Revenge of the Sith, then it's portrayed on the Clone Wars, then it's portrayed on the Obi-Wan series. Now it's being portrayed here again. So it's at least the fourth rendition of Order 66.
And it's always from different points of view.
Right.
Every time it's from a different point of view.
Now, this was the only time I was like, other than the jetpack field thing, I was like, what is that? Essentially, the opening scene of that is you see the doors being cut open, and then there's at least 3, if not 4 Jedi there.
There's
and then
4 Jedi.
There's those doors open, and there's like 3 or 4 clone troopers.
Yeah.
And suddenly they're taking out the lightsaber wielding Jedi. I'm like, what fucking universe?
Well, no.
We have 4 clone troopers. No. They don't have reinforcements at the start.
So
they're just blasting away, and they start pecking off the Jedi who've got.
So they are, but what you see later in that scene is that when you see that door opening, they're already being chased by stormtroopers. Right, so where we cut in, where the door is opening and stormtroopers come in, there's also stormtroopers behind them. And then when they turn left to go left, another group of stormtroopers there, and they're shit, get Grogu to the elevator.
Well, I saw the ones that when they turned. So in our visuals, it looks like 4 clone troopers take out 4 Jedi, and I was like,
yeah, no,
what?
That would never happen. That's because then, of course,
Grogu gets rescued by a lone Jedi who takes on a whole bunch of clone troopers.
Okay, are you going to say it?
I mean,
are you going to say it? You got to say it.
Have to.
You got to say it because I mean, come on.
That ends up rescuing Grogu is portrayed by Ahmed Best. If you don't know who Ahmed Best is, he was the voice of Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Binks. He wasn't just the voice; he was the actor in the suit.
Well,
like. He was the actor in the scenes, right?
Right. What I was going to say, it wasn't a suit per se. They CG'd him. But
well, they had a head on his head, basically.
He was the Andy Serkis level.
He was the Andy Serkis.
Yes. And he provided the voice for Jar Jar Binks. So, and I'll be the first to admit, man, at first I didn't realize that's who it was. And I was like, oh, finally, a Jedi that looks like they could actually hold their own, which should have been all of them. But apparently this episode just wasn't. Just 4 Jedi could just lose to like a handful of clone troopers, which bullshit. Sorry. So it wasn't perfect. I didn't like that.
Well, I mean, they could always be Padawans, right?
I didn't like that at all. They were not dressed like Padawans, man. They looked like fucking Jedi to me. Anyways, a minor quibble, although I was mad at the time. Ahmed Best, yeah, man.
Dude, his scene was amazing. He looked like he knew how to swing those fucking lightsabers, man. Like his moves were so smooth and precise, and his tow and ding, 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 he just killed 4 guys in one shot. Like, holy fuck, man!
Like it should have been. Yeah, that's what a Jedi. You don't get to be a Jedi by collecting bottle caps. Like it's
years
and years of training and sensitivity to the Force and everything. Anyways. Yeah, brilliantly done. Well, such a great. Again,
and they give him a name, Kimber.
I didn't catch that. I'd have to look it up, but it almost felt like it felt like the Rolaren thing on Picard, where we didn't know Ahmed Best was going to have.
No, I had no idea he was going to be in this.
That probably doesn't redeem all the shit he had to wear. And hey, guys, here I am. This is me, and I will stand up and say, yes, I have. And will again, and still do, absolutely fucking hate Jar Jar Binks, and will make fun of that terrible character until the day I die. What happened to Ahmed Best was not cool. How personal that people got with his performance, which he was paid as an actor to read from a script in the manner that he did. It's not like he made those choices or he made that. He wore a lot of shit, became suicidal over it. He wore so much
I don't
shit,
understand people that go after actors like that. That.
It's not his fault.
I don't.
At the end of the day. Brilliant to bring him in. To bring him in.
So Jar Jar saves Grogu. He's who saved Grogu and got him out of the Jedi Temple during Order 66.
Not Jar Jar.
Well, no, it's not Jar Jar. You know what I mean, right?
Yes, yes. Yep. I don't, because we don't actually ultimately see his fate. Because they get out of the flashback, they get out of the
flashback after they get onto the ship and they go to light speed, and then Grogu comes back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we don't know ultimately what his fate is.
No, we don't.
Well, no,
he may technically also still be around.
It's like Yoda, and he's like, the last of the Jedi you will be, and now we're all like, but not really the last, more like the last dozen or so around.
Oh, I know what this is. Oh. Ahmed Best is the host of that Star Wars game show for kids. His character is Kelleran Beck.
Ah, there you go. There you go.
Star Wars Jedi Temple. Ahmed Best as Master Kelleran Beck. So that's what it is. That's the crossover there.
Nicknamed the Sabered Hand.
Yeah, so he's the host of that, which I don't know if you've watched the show, but it's kind of neat. I mean, it's fun for kids. If I was a kid, I totally would have loved to be on that show. So they've now included that character into canon.
There you go.
Good for him. Good for him. That's so awesome. I had completely forgotten about that show, but that's good for him. They've made him canon, and I love it.
Look where we got. That's awesome. Yeah. It. So can we talk about as far as the difference between that flashback, which I mean, again, for me in flashbacks, but that's how you handle a flashback. It wasn't 35 minutes long, right? Stuck in the middle of the episode. It wasn't seemingly completely irrelevant to the rest of the episode. And it was an impactful, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I wasn't yawning my way through the flashback going, God, when's this going to end? I was like, ooh, this is, we didn't like, you know what I mean? Like it was a flashback.
But it was a high impact scene, right? It's a lightsaber 100%. Fight. Clone troopers are attacking
everywhere.
Blaster fire, very
flying.
Quick,
Coruscant.
Yeah. So it's.
If you're going to do a flashback scene, kids, this is how you do a flashback scene. You keep it short, sweet, to the point. You get in and out, but you tell a relevant piece of the story. Perfect. Didn't go on too long. Cut off at the exact right moment. We know how Grogu got off Coruscant. We know he was at the Jedi Temple. We know he received some training. Things that we had assumed up until now, we know.
Now we know for a fact.
We just don't know what happened post that.
Well, we still don't know what level of training he actually had.
Right. Or where Keller and Beck took him.
Or where Beck took him. Whatever, or what happens after that, right?
How we go from there to, I would like to see the baby. Like, I don't know how we get from there to there. But notice he was already in the pram, though. He was already in the little egg-shaped dealie.
Yeah.
That he eventually is found by the Mandalorian. So, I don't know. And the parallels were kind of cool. Like, he was being referred to as the foundling. Right. That was cool. That was good.
They referred to him as the foundling a couple times.
Yep.
Yeah,
it was a great episode.
They're really reinforcing my theory here for me. They really are. Like they're really making it about him.
I know.
I know.
For me,
I don't mind it. Don't get me wrong. I just hate that I figured that out from the beginning. But
at the end of the day, so the only thing I'm going to say to that, the final rebuttal I'm going to have to say to that is, I don't think the Grogu character is a strong enough character to carry that weight, to carry that support. Din for me is still. Without Din, there's no show. I wouldn't watch a show if it was just Grogu.
Of course.
To me, it's still Din is still the Mandalorian because he's still at the heart of everything that's gone through. He's still the through. Grogu is not the through line for me. Din is still the through line for me for everything. It all connects to Din, not necessarily to Grogu. So, I don't know, man. We're getting there. We're getting into the nitty gritty, the juice, and I can see how it's going to be like a finite series. This is going to be a series that's just going to go on for 8 or 10 seasons. I can't imagine there being more than 5. Like they're going to clearly come to the end for this, and they're building
they have.
That.
Yeah, they kind of have to, right? Like because then the First Order is going to come back, and then we're getting into sequel trilogy era. So. Right. I can't see them going into that. It's going to lead to that, but I can't see them crossing into that era. So, I don't think this is going to go on forever either.
No, I do wonder if it's going to be like sort of similar to how they ended the Clone Wars, the 7th, because it's my understanding that the last season of the Clone Wars animated show kind of bled into or overlapped Revenge of the Sith a little bit.
Yeah. The last episode of
to kind of tie them because it's Order 66, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The last episode of the Clone Wars happens at the same time as the last as Revenge of the Sith. There's actually a scene. You know the scene where Anakin and it's not Anakin, it's Obi-Wan is talking to the Jedi Council over the Holo thing, and they're talking about Anakin.
Right.
From the other angle, Ahsoka's there in that scene.
I got
so we see that scene from the back, and you see that she's standing there, right? It all happens at the same time, and it develops at the same time.
Right.
And she goes through orders.
If they try to do that with this, if they try to overlap a bit of it with the Force Awakens, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like if we,
but there's still a lot of time span to go, right? There's still like 15 years to go. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but we can't have both ways.
Either years away from the First Order.
No, but it has to be. Yeah, I don't. We can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
Either the show is going to be shorter because it will lead into the sequels, or they have all the time in the world because they've got 15 years. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to give us a glimpse of how the First Order
comes to be.
Yeah,
we're
not going to get into any First Order stories.
Right.
By the time the First Order gets to be, and the time we get to the Force Awakens, they're already a thing.
Right.
So let's say we're 15 years away from Force Awakens. Well, the Force Awakens was probably 10 years away from the creation of the First Order.
Right.
So we're really only 5 years out. Well, now we're already 3 years in. So we're only 2 years out now. Like, do you know what I mean?
Sure.
So I don't know. It's one of those things where I don't see this going on forever, but I do see this spawning a bunch of different threads that could go on forever, like Ahsoka, like all of these other little things that they're like I think you were saying this in our first episode, how it feels like they're introducing a bunch of little things that they want to spin off.
100%.
Right?
That's how it feels. Yep.
And why not? Why not?
And they already
right?
are. We're getting an Ahsoka series. We're getting series that are clearly based on the back of this show because it's Book of Boba Fett. Like it's all introduced on this show. So I know.
Overall, for me, it was a good episode.
It's fantastic.
I don't know that I found it fantastic. It was way better than last week.
Oh, I thought this had everything.
Way better than last week.
Great effects, great story, flashbacks, action.
The flashback was amazing. That
great
was
cameo. Like I don't know what more you want out of an episode of The Mandalorian. This was like your typical. This was the very best for me anyway of the Mandalorian episodes. It was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
folks,
okay.
Let us know below. What did you think of this episode? I'm curious. Yeah, I can see people watching this show, but I never know if you guys agree with us or if you disagree with us. So if you do disagree with us, let us have it. I think that's going to be it for this show. Tune back in tomorrow because tomorrow we're going to be talking about Star Trek Picard for another after show. Woo, that's another wicked show. Actually, I'm more excited. I'm sorry to say this on the Mando after show. I'm more excited for Picard than Mando, 100%. But we'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay geeky, everybody.
Oh, and I love it. It's terrible. What am I doing?